Alright, YouTube, thank you for coming in today. It is Sunday, January 16th, 2022. And I titled this video, This Won't End Well. And I'm talking about the Tether ticking time bomb. And I'm talking about the exchanges being tightened up by the regulators. And then the regulations that we're expecting in the United States to be dropped later this year. I wish that I could be bullish. I was expecting a pump into January. I thought that like everyone else, I thought we were going to get a December pump for Bitcoin, and that the altcoins were going to follow into January, and that we were all going to get rich and happy. Obviously, that has not been the case, and that's actually how it usually works out. So I just want to be real with you guys. If I had something to sell you guys, I would not be making this video right now. This is not a Moonboy video. I'm not a Moonboy channel. You're never going to get that BS from me. I'm just going to share the truth about cryptocurrency, current events, and help you prepare for the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. The good news is that if you are prepared for this bear market, for this collapse of our stock, the stock market, if you're prepared for a pullback in the real estate market, which for those of you who've been following me know that I'm not calling for a market crash in real estate. I'm mostly just calling for stocks and cryptos to have a very drastic pullback. There's other factors in regards to real estate, but I won't get into that in this video. This video, I'm going to be talking about the Tether ticking time bomb. We're going to talk about Bitfinex getting shut down in some regions. And then we're going to cover Binance and then wrap up the whole theory in regards to Tether, what we've seen Tether do for this market over the last couple years. And I just want to be real with you guys. So if you're here for Moonboy talk, if you're here for me just talking about XRP going to 10,000, for Bitcoin going to 200,000, you're at the wrong channel, quite frankly. I'm here to share the truth. The data, the facts, the figures that we're looking at right now don't paint a pretty picture. So barring Federal Reserve coming out and printing another, $5-10 trillion this year, barring them not going ahead with raising interest rates 3 or 4 times this year, barring them not deciding to end the tapering in March like they're telling us they're going to, and barring any sort of stimulus package being passed with our Congress and basically everyone getting free helicopter money again, the signs are not looking good. The writing is on the wall for a bear market correction. Now, we already have pulled back. But as it usually works in these cycles, on the way down, we have everyone trying to come up with a new indicator, a new reason for why the bull market's going to continue. Every day I see it on TikTok. Influencers coming up with new indicators, new reasoning, new justification for why the bull market will continue. It's like we have to have some sort of super cycle. That's not what we're going to be talking about here today, but if you want to know how to prepare yourself for this bear market, and this is the opportunity to really make some money, then we're going to get into it right here, and I will explain what we can do about it at the end. Let's get it. So earlier this week, we saw the breaking news coming out of Canada, specifically Ontario, where cryptocurrency exchange Bitfinex will be shutting down their operations, no longer have access to any of the services beginning March 1st. So they're telling people to pull your funds, get on out, because Bitfinex will no longer be operating anywhere in Ontario, Canada. Now, from my understanding, I'm not Canadian, obviously, but it seems like Ontario is one of the more strict regions, similar to New York or Washington State, where I live, where our cryptocurrency laws are pretty strict. We don't have access to all these exchanges, and so that seems to be the case in Ontario. But if you're a Canadian, comment down below and let me know what's happening. I know, guys, not here to spread FUD. I'm just sharing the facts and the news with you guys. So below this post on Twitter, I was reading how a Canadian was saying, yes, we can't access Bitfinex, but we have access to 20 other exchanges. But here's why this matters. Bitfinex basically owns and creates Tether and runs Tether. And then we also are going to talk about Binance later in this video, which is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. So that's why this matters. Yes, you might be able to access 10 other little exchanges, and obviously decentralized exchanges is one of the big plays that I'll talk about here at the end of this video that I think going forward, an opportunity to look at. But when we have the biggest exchanges in the world shutting down, that's not good news for crypto, okay? Not good news. So I'm just sharing the facts and the figures here with you guys. Let's continue. Quick refresher, the CFTC ordered Tether and Bitfinex to pay fines totaling $42.5 million earlier last year. So Tether was supposed to pay $41 million over claims that Tether stablecoin was fully backed by US dollars, and Bitfinex was ordered to pay $1.5 million for illegal transactions while operating Bitfinex cryptocurrency trading platform in violation of prior CFTC order. So there's already been issues with Bitfinex, and then they finally did go after Tether and they settled up for $41 million. But remember, we've talked about this before, Tether has never had a legit audit done. They've produced a couple bullshit ones, and I'm going to explain in this next clip too. But this is the main issue, guys. This is the number one stablecoin doing over 60% of the trading volume for this space, and they've been exposed as not being fully backed. Now, this was the CFTC settlement. Remember, they were also sued by the New York Attorney General, and they were proven, let me quote the New York Attorney General, to be a deceptive and fraudulent scheme. So these are the facts. Now, in this CFTC settlement in this order, what they found was that Tether held sufficient funds for their reserves for only 27% of the days in a 26-month sample time period from 2016 through 2018. So basically, over the course of 2 years, they only had sufficient reserves for about a quarter of that. The order also finds that instead of holding all USDT token reserves in US dollars as represented, Tether relied upon unregulated entities and certain third parties to hold funds compromising the reserves, commingled reserve funds with Bitfinex operational and customer funds, and held reserves in non-fiat financial products. Now, I'm not going to share the facts that we have in regards to how much commercial paper debt they hold, but they are one of the largest holders of commercial, specifically Chinese commercial paper debt in the world. And we know what's happening right now over in China with Evergrande and the real estate market and how that ties into other sectors as well. It's all not looking good, folks. The order further finds that Tether and Bitfinex combined assets included funds held by third parties, including at least 29 arrangements that were not documented through any agreement or contract, and that Tether transferred Tether reserve funds to Bitfinex, including when Bitfinex needed help responding to a, quote, liquidity crisis. So this is the liquidity squeeze, the liquidity crisis that I've been talking about, and they've already been commingling funds between Bitfinex and Tether, basically just covering Bitfinex's ass. But it's not just Bitfinex, let's be clear. Tether's covering Binance's ass as well, and other arrangements that they have. Right here it says 29 arrangements that were not documented through any agreement or contract. This is the largest stablecoin in this space that is doing the most shady, deceptive, and fraudulent schemes to prop up this market and to really cover their exchanges' asses. That is what is happening right now with Tether. But in addition, the order finds that Tether failed to complete routine professional audits during the relevant time period. What they did is they had shady firms out of the Cayman Islands conducting these audits. Just absolute bullshit. According to the order, Tether retained an accounting firm to perform a review of Tether reserves on a date Tether selected in advance, and Bitfinex transferred over $382 million to Tether's bank account in advance of that review. The order recognizes that Tether has not completed an audit of the Tether reserves. So they have not performed a legit audit as of this settlement that occurred early in 2021. But even up now here, January 2022, they've produced a couple shady audits, I believe. Nothing legit has come out of Tether or Bitfinex. Now, in connection with this order from the CFTC, which is the Commodities Futures Trading Commission here in the United States, Bitfinex must comply with certain undertakings by December 31st, 2021, including implementing as necessary and maintaining systems and procedures reasonably designed to prevent non-ECP U.S. persons from engaging in retail commodity transactions. So I believe that the regulators are finally getting caught up to speed. They're finally cracking down on these folks, and that's why you're seeing, specifically with what's happening in Ontario, Canada, Bitfinex is getting shut down, and they're also tightening them up here in the United States as well. Now, this is what really shocked me, is that Bitfinex and Tether combined have fewer than 100 employees. So the largest stablecoin in the cryptocurrency space that's allegedly managing over $80 billion that nobody seems to be able to find in the capital markets, just like Bernie's non-existent trades and trading partners, has less than 100 employees between Bitfinex and Tether. And this is not just from some tweet. I'm actually pulling this from the New York Attorney General's case. This is their lawyer signing off on this exact statement. Both Bitfinex and Tether have fewer than 100 employees. Even if independent contractors are counted as employees, and I do not consider the two categories to be the same, then Tether would still have fewer than 100 employees. So even with independent contractors, even with their subs, they have fewer than 100 employees. This really was shocking news for me. And what gets scary is that Tether is literally 3% of the whole crypto market right now. The market cap of Tether is at $78.4 billion as at the time of this recording, right before I hopped on here. This was pulled from Coinbase. The 24-hour volume's at 41 billion. But remember, guys, Tether accounts, Tether pairs account for nearly about 60% of the whole trading that happens in this space. So if Tether ever does get squeezed, and I do think that they will, we are going to hit a liquidity crisis. There will be a liquidity squeeze across all the exchanges. And of course, we have to talk about Binance as well, being the largest exchange in the world. And here's a list of the countries that are currently banning Binance. So it's going to be Ontario, Canada. Once again, that province is a little bit more strict than the other ones in Canada. So Binance is banned in Ontario, China, Europe for derivatives trading. So you can still do, I guess, trade regular cryptos, but no more futures in Europe, Malaysia, Japan, UK, and Thailand. And then if you look further, there's I want to say there's over a dozen. I think the last number I heard was over 19 countries that currently have issues or have Binance under scrutiny. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Binance, but they're already getting squeezed. Some of the cases, it's just on their derivatives futures trading products. In other cases, they just are completely banned. And obviously being banned in China is kind of a big deal. And I don't recommend holding any cryptos on exchanges, but especially, guys, take a look at this. Binance protects itself by stating in their terms of use the possibility of closing an account at their sole discretion. In other words, it means that at any time, you may see your account closed for any reason. So please keep this in mind. Get your cryptos off exchanges, especially off of Binance, guys. Been saying this for a while. Now, why does this all matter and what can we do about it? Well, I want you guys to take a look at these charts. Remember, I'm no technical analysis, but these are the most simple charts to pull up and the most simple trend lines to draw. So I'm going to tie this all together for you and why this matters. So take a look. This is the market cap of Tether. So back starting in 2019, right? Just $1 billion in it, going all the way up to 80 billion as of today. And look at how closely it resembles the Bitcoin chart. This is the same time frame essentially. Look at how well it matches up. I like to call this chart Bitcoin and Tether catch a vibe. And Bitcoin has definitely been pumped the most by Tether because of the dominance that Bitcoin has over the cryptocurrency space. So Tether paired up with over 60% of the trading in the space. Bitcoin also another crypto that has a lot of trading pairs as well. And the Bitcoin dominance back down to 40% right now. I'm going to pull up the Bitcoin dominance chart here in a couple slides. But take a look at how closely these resemble. Now we go on to the overall cryptocurrency market cap. Look at how closely it has righted that same exact chart from Tether. So we have hype, speculation, and Tether injections have been running this market so far and up to this point. So we have Tether pumping this market, and then we have Bitcoin riding the wave. But look at this chart here. This is the Bitcoin dominance weekly chart. And you don't have to be an expert in technical analysis to show me where this is going, right? Those are the most simple trend lines right there to draw, okay? Now, what's interesting about this is the Bitcoin dominance chart, the point that it's at right now, about 40%, is right where we were when we caught that last major altcoin season. I believe that we missed a major altcoin pump this year because of the NFTs and the meme coins, the metaverse, and over 10,000 cryptocurrencies that pulled money away. And basically new people were getting into the space and they were investing into SafeMoon, Dogecoin, and memes and NFTs before they bought Bitcoin or Ethereum or even XRP or some of the stable altcoins. So here's what I want you guys to do and really consider right now. We have cryptocurrency regulations coming right around the corner. Will your cryptocurrency survive regulations? That's what you need to be looking at. What liquidity options, what pairs do you have for your cryptocurrency if you are holding it and you plan on selling it? For example, the XDC that I held on KuCoin, it's only paired up with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether. What do you think is going to happen when, say we get a liquidity squeeze on Tether? Bitcoin and Ethereum will be squeezed as well, and then your XDC that you're trying to exit out of, if you only have those pairs as options, you're going to get squeezed as well. So XDC for me is a long-term hold anyways. But that's the whole point of this, guys. Whatever you're holding at this point, you need to be ready to hold it through a 50% market crash bear market. In both previous bull runs, we had a top and then we had 50 to 90% crash for your cryptos. That's even from Bitcoin to your XRP, whatever you got. All of them across the board will do a 50 to 90% crash. Now, long term, I am more bullish than anyone on this space, specifically utility coins, coins with actual use cases that solve problems. But we have to see the writing on the wall. This whole market, 60% of the trading volume that's propping up this market is done with Tether. That's a problem. That's a serious problem. Bitcoin. What's the narrative that's going to pump Bitcoin to 200,000, 500,000, or even $1 million like these moon boys talk about? There's no catalyst that takes us there other than extreme hyperinflation, which the Fed is obviously trying to keep reined in right now, and the numbers they give us are BS anyways. But the point being, there's no catalyst. There's nothing that I see that's going to get us a pump anytime now. The only thing is this Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. And the utility coins that have been suppressed alongside XRP, I expect will do well once Ripple wins. And the whole space could be brought up by a victory for Ripple, clarity for XRP. But after that initial pump, what's going to happen? The SEC is going to turn its crosshairs on the rest of this space. Tether is going to be scrutinized. These exchanges are where the regulators apply pressure. So I want you to have multiple options. Okay, be set up on multiple exchanges so that you can buy on multiple exchanges and also sell. If you're planning on selling, you need to have multiple options. Get your crypto off of Binance, Bitfinex, and any of these exchanges that are getting scrutinized across the world. Now, for many of us, we don't hold Bitcoin, right? I know some of you guys have a little bit of Bitcoin, whatever. That's fine. But what I want you guys to do is look through your bag right now, see what you hold, and understand that that crypto could be going down by 50% this year, easily. Bitcoin is already crashed 40% from the top at 69,000. And now we have the narratives coming in that, don't worry guys, the bull run will continue, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, there's only two catalysts that'll push this market up. That's the Federal Reserve reversing the policy decisions that they're making and deciding to pump and not raising interest rates, which would be a complete reversal, or some sort of massive stimulus injection, some sort of build back better plan getting passed, and free helicopter money for everyone. But barring those two instances, we are not going to catch a pump. The only thing that's going to pump would be a Ripple versus SEC lawsuit being settled up. And I do believe that that would be temporary. And I believe that XRP and the utility coins that have been suppressed alongside XRP are going to benefit the most from that pump. Now this video is running a little bit long, but I wanted you guys to understand what I'm looking at, why I'm not bullish right now. I'm not bullish. The only thing I'm bullish on right now is the handful of cryptos that I hold that are being suppressed with XRP, that haven't hit their all-time high from last bull run. Other than that, I just don't see any catalyst that really push this market up. I wish I could be a moon boy. I wish I could tell you how I see Bitcoin going to 200K and how the rest of the market's going to be carried up with it. I just don't see it. So I got to be real with you guys. That's my analysis. That's what I'm seeing. If you guys have something different, let me know. Comment down below. And if you could, hit that thumbs up button. Hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. And we will see you guys in the next one. Take care. God bless.